I'm here today. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here today in the wilds of Lambton County up near Sarnia, and we're going to do a little plot day. Since we can't do our customer appreciation in person, we're going to do it virtually, and this is kind of an introduction to our varieties, the non-GMO varieties. So I'll be getting a few pictures of that today, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm here today with Steph Divteris, and you're the seed, what is your title?
Territory sales rep.
There you go. So we're out in a plot just south of Sarnia. It's a non-GMO plot, and Steph's going to run through the lineup quickly.
Quickly. Okay, I'm good with quickly. So here I'm holding 10R2s, and we can see here in the plot that it's starting to mature. It's a 2800 heat unit bean. Good characteristics: yellow hilum, nice big beans, good genetic package. It's got SCN resistance, and she's looking pretty good. Got some nice beans on the branches. Good bean. Perfect.
A little early for this area, maybe, just
Absolutely.
a touch.
If you want to get wheat in, it might be a good option, but probably a little bit early.
This would make a wheat bean.
Yes. So these are our brand new 12J7s. Again, a 28-25 heat unit bean. The nice thing about 12J7s is its genetic package is probably the best that we have within the early lineup. Its SDS is phenomenal. Its Phytophthora, it's got both, it's got 2 genes for Phytophthora. It's got I believe a 1K and a 3A for great Phytophthora resistance, as well as it's got field tolerance. Potted like crazy, nice big beans. It is, again, an imperfect yellow hilum, but I don't think that's gonna set it back.
How's the protein?
Protein on this one is high. Not very high, but it's high, so it's probably around that 43 mark. Yeah, so nice good protein on that one as well.
43 is good.
So 14H3s, 28-25 heat unit soybean. So this little guy, short and stout, but yields like crazy. Again, a yellow hilum, SCN, good genetics. For Phytophthora, I believe it's got decent field tolerance, and overall, again, a large bean, and again, probably around that 43 for protein.
And early enough for wheat.
Yes, depending on where you are, absolutely. Okay, 16 F5s. So this is a pretty interesting bean. This bean does require a little bit more management. In a high yield environment, we want to make sure that we feed it the nutrients because it really likes some additional nutrients. Again, big bean, decent protein on it. I think the only watch out is basically making sure we don't put that population way too high on this one. It's a medium height bean, so it's not too tall, but if it is on that super highly productive acre, it could fall over. So we got to watch out for that. 16 F5s. So 18R6s. This is probably one of the older beans left in our lineup. 28-50 heat unit bean. Sleepy out of the ground. So if you're planting this one really, really early and you get some wet conditions, it might not come up as well as some of the other beans that have some better emergence. So that is a watch out on this. High yield again, probably around that 43, 44. Protein levels, good yellow hilum bean, exporters like it, good genetic package, and it is fairly tall as well.
It's been real consistent.
That's why it's been around for so long. So our 20M1s, newer to the market, I would say. These guys have been around for a couple years, I think probably the second year now. Again, a pretty tall bean, so we got to watch out. Again, high fertility acres, it could fall over a little bit. We can see a little bit of lodging out here in Petrolia. Good high protein bean as well, yellow hilum. What else? SCN. I would say Phytophthora is awesome on this one. Good field tolerance as well. The one watch out is that we have been seeing some SDS come into the 20M ones, but hopefully it's late enough that it shouldn't impact the yield too much.
And could be treated.
Could be treated with Sultro for SDS.
A nice color. I like their color.
So here we have probably the newest bean to our lineup. This is 21C6. And this one is super exciting because this will set the stage for protein in our lineup. And it has the highest, probably around 46% protein. And it's a phenomenal bean, protein-wise. I would say it is on that tall side too, probably not as tall as the 25 P2s or the 20M ones, but it still is a medium tall. You can see it's more of a slender plant type, so with populations you can probably play with these a little bit more and push those populations a little bit higher. Again, super large bean, yellow hilum. I think this will replace 20G7s going forward.
There's a 4-bean pod right there.
Look how big those beans are.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited about this one. So stay tuned and follow this one.
Want to order them? There won't be a lot of those.
Nope. So last but not least, we have 25 P2s, which is a 3,000 heat unit bean. And what was pointed out to me today is 25 P2s because it has the brown pod pubescence, so clearly identifiable. This is a massive bean. It's tall.
It's about the tallest one in the plot.
Yeah, standing gorgeous, so it's got good standability. It is fairly quick out of the ground. Its protein is probably around that 42, 43 mark, and it does have an imperfect yellow hilum. But its sugars are really, really high for that milk market, and genetically I think you can go across any acres. The SDS is pretty awesome on it. Again, it's got a Phytophthora gene.
Potted high off the ground in this location.
Yeah, so all the beans here are potted fairly high, and I'm going to say that they came out of the ground fairly quickly and got some good height on them and then started potting. And you can see the difference in the distance between all the nodes where they got some good rain events, and then you can see them getting farther and farther apart as we get through the season. So great looking beans out here.
Well, perfect. Thanks, Steph,
No problem.
for giving us a rundown on the lineup.
Quick rundown on the lineup.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, good morning and welcome back to the channel. We're doing a continuation of our customer appreciation seed information videos. And I'm out here, actually I'm out standing in my bean field. I'm out here in the SDS plots at the Dresden location, and I'm here with Matt Hoyer from Syngenta. How are you,
Hey
Matt?
Dennis, I'm good. Yeah, so it's been a few weeks since we've been here last. I think early August, and as you pan around here, Dennis, you can start to see that things are moving along. So just to reiterate, this is our sudden death screening nursery. In this nursery, we're screening all our genetics from 1.0 maturity to a 3.0. So very important to have a local site here in Ontario to see how our varieties are performing from an SDS tolerance standpoint. So additionally, we're looking at some of the varieties here. I'm just going to pull a plant right here so you can start to see. Here's a variety that's, we're starting to get that interveinal chlorosis going on. And as it progresses, some of the more severe varieties, we'll start to see the leaves starting to brown off. And finally, don't know if we have one right in front of us here, Dennis, but we'll have varieties that start to defoliate. And that's really where you're losing that yield. And at the end of the day, it's really reducing yield overall. So that's our sudden death syndrome site. And so this data, it'll be rolled up this fall into a North America summary, and we'll go to make those advancements and commercialize those varieties for varieties that are excellent for sudden death syndrome tolerance.
So you're doing, there's trials in here for the US?
Correct. Yep. Yeah.
It'll help them as well as
Exactly. And in addition to that, Dennis, as well too, we have Canadian specific trials because, you know, they sell Asgrow in the US, decal sold here, so we want to get those competitors in here from that standpoint as well too. And additional, we sell different NK varieties as well too, so we want to make sure that we're testing our varieties and getting that information from a local perspective as well too.
And the other advantage we have being Syngenta, I guess the other companies too, but we get the use of their research as well.
Exactly.
You combine that with what we're doing here.
Exactly. So to that point, Dennis, I mean, in the U.S. we have 5 inoculated locations, and then additionally we have another 5 to 10 that we tend to get sudden death syndrome tolerance on a regular basis. So provides a really robust data set and ability to advance the best varieties for that tolerance to sudden death syndrome. All right, Dennis, I just wanted to show you a few varieties from the NK portfolio. So if you just pan down right here, so on the right hand side here is 20 L8X, and here's our new S20 E3. So this has the E3, the 2,4-D trait technology, and this variety overall, both of these are excellent for sudden death syndrome tolerance. Now if you move across here, I'll show you what a worst case scenario is. So looking at the product right here, this is a competitor 2.0, and this is really at an advanced stage. So we started seeing SDS move in here in late July, and so you can see here from the leaves, you're getting that defoliation, and so this is really where you're starting to lose that yield potential. So just a huge difference in terms of overall tolerance. Yeah, so that's another thing, Dennis, and something that we're exploring as well too with Syngenta. So many of you know Adam McQueen, our agronomist in County, so we're going to be saving some samples from his Sultro trial this year just to look at overall seed quality and improvement in seed quality, because that's important. We want to have a good seed product at the end of the day, and I know from my US colleagues, I mean, they treat a lot of their products with Sultro from parent seed for that reason, because they've seen the real benefit on improving overall seed quality. So Dennis, the last thing I wanted to talk to you about and to the group overall is cyst protection. And so just to let you know what Syngenta's working on. So historically, we've worked with the PI 88788 source of resistance. We now have a few varieties that we're offering with that peaking resistance. And so we have a lot of varieties in the E3 proprietary genetics that are coming through our breeding program. I'd estimate about 25% of our experimental class 2 years away is that peaking source of resistance. But additionally, something that's unique to Syngenta is that we're also working with PI 89772. So you may have seen Albert Snuda talk about PI 89772. So Syngenta is the first one to launch a variety in the US with this source of resistance, and so we're really integrating this into the program as another source of resistance. And why this is so important here in Ontario is that we have a lot of different races that are in the soil, so it's important to have different sources of resistance so that we can rotate those different modes of action. So Syngenta is going to be working with PI 88788 peaking and also PI 89772.
Perfect. Thanks, Matt.
Right on. Thanks, Dennis.